Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at NECA's Turtles in Time Pirate BEBOP and ROCKSTEADY figure. Now I know these are going to be for a very specific collector. Not everybody is going to want to get these Turtles in Time figures. I know if you didn't play the game, you might not be interested in something like this. It's Pirate, BEBOP, and ROCKSTEADY. It doesn't exist as far as I know outside of that game. But for those of you who did play that amazing game, you're going to want these. Or at least be interested in them, and that's why I'm going to review them for you today. You're going to have to get them secondhand as far as I know, but you should be able to track them down. So let's go ahead and get them off the stand and take a closer look. We are going to be reviewing both in the same video, so we're just going to kind of go back and forth. This guy stands just about 7 inches to the very top of the head, and that makes him about a little over 17.5 centimeters. This guy should be pretty close to the same thing, I think. Let's see. He is, yeah, about the same. Looks pretty good to me. So we'll just do a quick size comparison next to each other. Yeah, they're about the exact same height. It's about as close to exact as you can get without me making sure they're exactly exact. So aesthetics on these guys, amazing. As usual, NECA nails it. But before we do that, question of the day. Did you play Turtles in Time, and how amazing did you think it was? Because for me, it's like one of the best side-scroller beat-em-ups ever. Not that I've played all of them, of course, but that one is about exactly what you would want. I'm going to stick with about exactly from now on. I liked it a bunch. Okay, so aesthetically speaking, we do have the arcade look with the pixelated shading here and there, and they did a good job as always. The paints are nice and solid, no issues. There's a little bit of shading here and there, like for these epaulets. Are those epaulets? I think they are. That's not quite pixelated, but you get the idea. It's a very harsh cel-shaded type of shading, and then you do get the pixelation throughout on the rest of the figures. I like that. Looks very, very good. Colors are nice and vibrant. Paints are clean. I'm pretty happy. We do have some reused parts in like the arms and legs in some spots. Not his arms, I don't think, but his arms. And both of their legs are reused. I think the shoes are 2 for this one, not for BEBOP. But yeah, pretty good looking figures. And they look even better when you open the mouths, because NECA did a good job of painting those mouths. You can see the tongue in there, some more teeth. Same thing on this guy. Very nice looking figures. Very, very happy with all of that. So aesthetically speaking, these guys get a 9 out of 10. They're very, very well executed. As far as accessories go, they both come with fist hands on them in the package, and they each have sets of the exact same hands. One set of gripping and one set of open style pose hands. We do get one sword. I don't know what kind of sword that is offhand. I'm losing my mind. We have one sword and one whip. The whip is bendy. Not the best bendy we've ever seen, but it'll be good enough. So that's a pretty good spread of accessories. I don't think you would really need too much more. So I'm happy with that. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. That's fine. Now let's do the articulation. We're going to do them one at a time, obviously, because they're not exactly the same figure. We do have a ball peg for the neck, which lets it look up and down. You're not going to get a ton. I'm going to put that right out there. For all of this, you're not going to get a ton of posing. These guys are mostly going to be static figures on your shelf, which is probably no surprise to those of you collecting NECA's turtle figures. But you do get some range. It's a little sticky here and there, but you can kind of force it and it'll work. So you get it's a double ball peg, I think, technically. It's fine. Again, the mouth does open, so that's cool. Shoulders. These guys are connected to the torso, so they're gonna raise up underneath the epaulets. If they are epaulets, I always get those called the wrong thing. I can't get the arms up any higher than... Hey! It unpegged. It didn't break. It didn't break. It just unpegged. So I should probably talk about that. You really shouldn't do what I just did. I don't know why I did that. What you should do is what I did the first time, and that's try to get the force as high up on the arm as possible when you're raising an arm, so that you're putting pressure on that peg that sticks down rather than down here prying it off, which is what I did on that side. So anyway, you get very little range going out to the side. You do get your full rotation though, that's fine. Bicep swivel is fine. Double jointed elbow should work just fine, no problem there. Yeah, that's good. Wrists have a swivel and a hinge. The gripping hands do have a horizontal hinge, that's a bit of a bummer, but like I said, these guys are not going to be in dynamic poses anyway. The torso is on a ball peg. It seems like connecting the crotch to like somewhere inside there, but basically you're just going to get some rotation. There's some like a little bit of wiggle, but basically just rotation. For the hips, it's your standard hips, the old standard hips, so they're ratcheted out to the side. They can keep going, but I'm not going to flex it because I don't need to. That's going to be more than enough for these guys, so that's okay. Going forward, yeah, you're going to have to stretch the crotch piece. You can. I'm not going to do it. I don't want to have problems potentially. And again, these guys don't need to be in crazy poses, so yes, it's limited. I'm going to put it there, it is limited, and they are kind of loose front to back. But they will stand okay, and that's all I'm going to do with them, so I know these guys get some leeway in that regard, but it is still going to get a rating based on what the articulation can do safely. I just don't think it matters as much with these figures. So for the double jointed knee, you get actually really good range. That's a good knee. I like that they're still doing some rounding off on the edges. Not as much as I would like, but it still looks nice, so that's good. You do get a swivel at the top of the boot. Then the ankle has a standard hinge, which goes back a little bit. Goes forward, not all that far, but a little bit, and you get a decent ankle rocker. So yeah, very basic articulation. Nothing crazy, just enough, and I think that's okay, but it's still gonna only get like a 4 out of 10 for articulation. It's incredibly limited. It's okay in this case, but it is limited. Now for BEBOP, we get a little bit more range out of the neck. He's got less stuff in the way, so that's good. You can look down, up. You can rotate side to side pretty well. That's good. A little bit of leaning. Yeah, his ball pegs work a lot better right there. As for the mouth opening, doesn't open quite as far. Oh, I guess it's just binding in the back. So yeah, you can open it pretty far, so that's cool. I like that. His glasses do pivot up like that. I think that's a thing from the game. I don't remember that kind of a specific detail. I could be wrong. I thought if he took damage, his glasses popped up like that, but I could be wrong. Okay, shoulder pads are connected here and down here, which isn't the best thing ever, but it doesn't really get in the way too much. You can raise the arms up just about the same as ROCKSTEADY. Rotating them, that's why it's not great to have them connected in 2 spots. It starts to flex this, and that's not great. I would much rather them be connected to the arms rather than the actual shirt up here, but you can get the arm up far enough without it being a problem, so just be aware. If you try to spin the arm all the way around, you're probably going to tear the shoulder pad straps, so don't do that. Biceps are stuck on this guy, but knowing from the past, they do technically work, so a little hairdryer action should free those up. You should be okay. Double jointed elbow, again, we know from the past it works. We have seen these arms before. And that's one joint, and you get a little bit better than 90 degrees if I can free up that top joint. These guys are very, very stiff. Oh my goodness, let's try this side. There we go. That's better. So yeah, you get really good range out of that. Now, he's got really fat arms and a perfectly good double jointed elbow. Why can't Hasbro implement better double jointed elbows on their figures? We get so limited range, such limited range on so many figures. Okay, necklace is a separate piece, by the way. It's just a floaty piece. Same thing with the waist. I think it's technically a ball peg, but you're going to get some twist out of it. And then same thing for the hips. They ratchet out and you can go out to the side pretty far, but I wouldn't really force it too much. And they do go forward, but they're a little bit loose, and you're going to have to flex the crotch piece, which I don't want to do. So hips are basically not there. They don't work that well. Double jointed knees. Are they the exact same legs? Yeah, the upper legs are the exact same. The lower legs are different, so I'll check them anyway, just for you guys. We'll see. Oh, I cannot get that bottom joint. All right, let's try this side. So if you hit these guys with a hairdryer or some warm water, don't use boiling water. It'll be much easier, but I don't do that. I treat them the way I handle them right out of the package, so you guys can see what you can expect. So the knees do work nice enough, so that's fine. No issues there. Not that you're going to need them since the hips don't work, but ankles have very little range going forward, decent range going back, and a very steep ankle rocker, so not great. So yeah, his articulation is probably even a little bit worse overall. I don't remember what I said for ROCKSTEADY, but knock it down 1. I think I said 4, so this guy gets a 3. That's what I said. Either way, it's not good. Their articulation is not good. That's not what NECA is going for, so that's fine, but it is a bad batch of articulation, technically speaking. That said, time for the final verdict. They don't need it as much. I don't think anybody's expecting these guys to get into crazy poses because of the sculpt, which is phenomenal, by the way. The jackets and everything. Fantastic sculpt, good paint, good enough accessories to put them on the shelf. They're going to look great. You're not going to be able to do crazy things with them, but I think in this case it's okay. So final verdict on these guys, as a 2-pack, it's a pretty good set. I'm going to go 8 out of 10. It would be a lot higher if you could pose them more, but I think that's just going to kick the price way up to get these guys to have better articulation. So I think it's fine. You can decide for yourself. If you think it's fine, you guys can let me know in the comment section below how you feel about it. There it is, guys. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, you can give it a thumbs down. Those still do count. If you haven't subscribed, think about it, because I do have new videos almost every single day, and I do have over 4,000 videos already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.